walking
He had a
around.
pouty fit and went out in the car.
Cause
Me
we
and Mom got along. We went in there
kitchen with
tried on the machines and stuff.
I just had a million things I wanted to do, and these guys were like plugging along slow.
window
It was just irritating to have them window shopping while I'm in a rush.
Brandy, how'd you handle Clint's crabbiness? How'd you do that? I mean, that's.
Picked on me.
No,
How'd you handle it well?
I just hung around with Mom.
You just.
Stuck with Mom. Kept Mom company.
I said, ignore him. Let him be a baby.
Well, and that made sense. I mean, your mom, you know that.
Yeah, if it was like this each time when we're
Can I
movie
stay
or
2 nights
something,
this
it wouldn't be
weekend?
bad.
Friday and Saturday, please. Clint, just 'cause you're a baby, you can't say no. Mom can't.
Uh-uh.
It's Mom's house.
I didn't say no.
Well, that look.
It's not
Ooh.
just my house.
Well, Jason, can I? It's my house.
Well, let's talk about how things went more.
Can't stay.
I haven't heard very much.
It was good.
It went good.
How'd you do that? How
Well-
did you cope with with Clint when he
one
was in a
thing
bad
that
mood?
made me mad, really mad, is okay. I have one of these friends, and my boyfriend came over to. Well, he's not my boyfriend. He's like, we're seeing each other.
It's like
But anyways,
turtle
he's going out with
skis.
another girl. But
Jason.
and then we were sitting here. He came over. Bob said he could come over and visit me. So he didn't stay at the house because they were gone. So he came over, and my friend Angela was there. We're getting ready to go to the races that night. They were at my grandma and grandpa's house, which was N2 East. Call my grandma and grandpa whatever. They were over there visiting, and he was looking at guns because he's gonna plan on going hunting this year and everything. And then Angela was over, and I had a couple of Jay's tapes from a long time ago, and I told him he could come over and pick them up. And so Bob said I could go with him as long as I leave a note where I'm at and when I'll be back and stuff. And so Angela didn't want to go with me and him, so we dropped her off at Sandra's. And then my mom went looking for me. I put on a note. I go, Bob, went with Jay and Angela. Love, Brad. And then I didn't know what time I was gonna be home, but I thought I was gonna be home in a couple hours. And I was home in like 2 hours and a half, hour and a half, somewhere around there. And Mom called before I left, and I had nobody over at the time. Nobody's over. I was just sitting there by myself, trying to get a hold of, just trying to talk to friends on the phone. And then Mom called, and she asked me how I was doing. And I said fine. And she said, talked to her about a couple other things, and there was nothing big. She was checking up on me, see if anybody's over there. I think no, so I was just me by myself. And then I went to the store, got a pop, and came back, and bought me 7-Up or a squirt or something. I don't remember. But anyways, came over, picked me up, and then got his tapes and stuff. And he came in the doorway. He stood in the door, and I said, "You could come in." And he came in the house and he stood around. He felt awkward. He started talking to me and everything. But anyways, and I knew that he wasn't supposed to be in the house and everything. But I figured since he's only gonna be on the one time that he could just come in. But I knew I was doing something wrong. But anyways, that's good. And they never said anything, which was good. And
Wow. Well, let me
Well,
ask you about
that's
something.
not true either, because when we left, we told her if she went anywhere, she had to leave a note.
Well, tell the
Wait a minute,
story.
wait a minute. She had to leave a note. No, I meant the part where nobody said anything, because I got on her at the store
Well, I didn't
a
hear
little
you.
bit.
Well, I'm trying to get.
Okay.
And then I was going with Jay, dropped Angela off at Sandra's. Her and a couple of Sandra's friends, which is my friends too, Adam and them, went down to the school to play basketball. And somehow they got to the races. My mom went by the races to see if it was there or something. Talked to Angela. Angela said something that made it exaggerate. I don't know what she said. What'd she say, Mom?
We just asked where you were, and she says, I don't know. And I said, weren't you with Brandy? And she said, yeah. I said,
Earlier
when? And she
today.
goes, earlier today. She made it sound like
Yeah.
it was a lot earlier.
But it wasn't, because Mom was called and I was there.
It made it sound like she had lied to us to go out by herself.
Yeah, but Angela didn't know I was supposed to be with Jay or not, so that's why she said that. I talked to her when she's out there walking down the road. She was afraid to come to the house and think because she didn't know if I was supposed to be with Jay or not. But anyways,
I appreciate all this detail. It's amazing how I get down to, let's see, when did you brush your teeth and, you know, all this stuff. But how did you know that you could do something that you knew it was wrong and that it would probably be okay? That, you know, I mean, that's really, it didn't cause a huge blow up. Is that what I'm getting, is that what you're getting at?
well, before
How'd you
I
know
think
that?
this
We
was
didn't
pretty
know
good.
about it until now, as far as Jade coming
How'd
in.
you
Yeah,
make
she
that
did.
decision?
Yes, I
How'd you
did.
make that
Oh, I
decision
did.
that this, in this instance, it was probably okay? How'd you make that decision, Brandy?
Well, why did I make the decision? Because
How did you make it? How'd
I
you
didn't
decide
know.
that it would
That's what
probably
I
be
said.
okay?
I never remember about this.
how did I decide to probably be okay?
Yeah.
Well, before I used to invite, well, Roy and he'd come over, he'd invite Nick over, and then Nick would invite their friends over, which their boyfriends are my friends too. So I figured Jay Brown, we always seeing him at the time, so he used to come over every time they come home. He's always at the house. He not always, but sometimes we'll be sitting on the couch watching TV, or he'll come over and walk me home. He always walks me home or something. So I figured, well, that's on a weekend and stuff, and he didn't. Then Jay, my mom's met Jay a couple times. Whenever she knows Jay from football and all that stuff, and I've introduced him and stuff. Then he was standing at the doorway because he knows I told him because my parents don't like it when they're not around. So he knows he respects that. He stood outside the door and I go, well, I thought about it. I go, you could come in and stand here. But he just stood around and he goes, are you sure? I go, yeah. He goes, just sit here. Angela didn't say it, and she knew. She knows how my mom is. So she goes, she just looked at me funny and she picked up the phone. I go, I have nothing to do with this, girl. So she picked up the phone. So Carl said, I told her she'd be over there for a while. And Angela made fun of Jay's nose and said something about his nose. He goes, that looks like Dana Flores' nose or something like that. And Jay goes, fine. And Angela goes, can I have a ride over to Sandra's? And Jay goes, no. And I go, yeah, you tell him or
Okay.
no.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this part. You did something that you knew was wrong.
Are you yelling at me for this? Is this the way you're lecturing
No,
me or something?
no. You did something you knew was wrong, but you didn't get in big trouble. They didn't say anything. Clint and Lori didn't say anything to you, right? How come? What? How come this
Well,
wasn't
I
a big
did.
fight?
I just told her I wasn't happy about that, but
She just said she wasn't. Actually, she didn't say nothing. Clint did all the yelling.
Uh-huh.
Mom
Well-
just sat in the car and
Well,
tried
I
to
didn't
stick
really
to
talking about when
read
we're
that.
home, we're talking about the mouse. I said, well, that's good and everything, but still.
But oh yeah, he dropped me off at the house when he came back and dropped me off.
But you don't
Look,
have to tell them.
come on, I want to get on the subject. Anyways, he came over everything. I said, you were coming to the house and everything, and then I had a feeling that my parents were watching me or something. Or I have that feeling because Nick and Rory used to spy on me and Jay Brown through the windows, or we used to sit there. So I had a feeling that someone was watching me. So I go, let's go. Got in the car, left, dropped Angela. I went in to go leave a note. I almost forgot to leave a note. No, big time trouble. I just remembered that when I got in the car. Wait. So he went up there, and then Angela just happened to slide in the car. And so she was in the car, and I come back, and I see the little head bobbing around in there, and just singing and everything. And then, what? And then I got in the car when we left, dropped her off, and he goes, well, where do you want to go? And I go, I don't know. Where do you want to go? He goes, I don't know. So we thought somewhere going. We just went cruising. He asked me if I wanted to drive.
Okay, let me get this straight, because it really, when you tell me with all this detail, I get lost. It's better if it's a little bit simpler, and just the basic skeleton kind of thing. Like, he came in a second, we got in the car, I forgot about the note,
Well,
I
you
got
said
the
you
note,
liked
and then we
details, so.
I
Right,
said
trying to
thank
get
you.
the
I said thank you
details.
for all the detail, but it
Okay.
is confusing too.
Okay,
But
okay.
wait, this is the part that seems really really good, is that you were remembering to do these little things. I mean,
No, I don't.
this is part of your goal, right? Isn't this part of your not be so impulsive and let's
I did
let's
what?
think about stuff? And it sounds like you
in a
did.
grouchy mood. He's been yelling at me and stuff.
It
The same
sounds
things,
like
little
you
cut down,
did.
so I didn't want to hear it when I got home. I wanted to have a good night. I was going to the races.
Yeah.
And have fun. I don't want to go
Yeah.
home and listen to him yell. Let's leave it
Yeah.
for
So
bed.
how come this is happening? This is.
I was trying to get along. So I
Yeah.
could make 2 nights to stay there 2
Trying
nights.
to
Okay.
show some respect,
Uh-huh.
and we give her a little leadway, and she did pretty good with them.
But
Wow.
actually, the reason that
Tell my
a lot
story.
wasn't said about Jake coming in there is because we've been trying to talk to her about rules. That is one that she knows about, but yet we told her that rules were changing, and some are the same and some are changing, and we really never got down to the basics, actually what it was.
But
So
anyway,
we
Scott
just,
said don't worry about the rules until we get there.
Right.
Tuesday.
but that's why we didn't really come down
Enforce
on
it.
her, because that was one that still stays.
But Jay Brown wise, there was always been an adult there. Jay, he just come over to pick me up. I'm not gonna leave him out in the doorway, be polite and let him come in.
And then we weren't
weren't
home,
there,
and we
so
said we were gonna
Angela
be
was
home.
there and stuff. That's why I like it when Wiley's there. But then what do I do with him when I leave? See, because Wiley will tell them everything I do, and that's what I like. So but anyways.
So what, again, let me ask you the question again. Why you go into all these pains to, not why, but how come? What's the difference now that you're remembering these things? How are you remembering to do these things now? Like, how do you figure this feeling of being watched comes over you? Like,
Well, I
oh,
found her
somebody's
they
like,
cursed
you got a
me or
little
something
bird
in
on
my
your shoulder.
sleep.
Feeling a little
No,
guilty.
because before where Jay used to come over, we used to sit on the couch and watch TV. And me and my uncle were getting along then. He used to talk to me about things and stuff about he didn't want. About how he wanted to kick some guys' butts, what they do to me or something. How Roy is, he's really kind of a weird type person. But that night we were arguing really bad. I decided to be nice to him that night and say I'm sorry. We went outside and there was this guy following because me and Roy and Angela and Jay were all walking around and Nick that night and stuff. And so Nick went somewhere that night. I think he went over to Trina's. And something, but shut up. What? And okay, anyways, Nick went somewhere and Roy was over there. We started talking to him. Roy told me he was watching me in the window with Jay and what Jay was doing and stuff. But Jay wasn't doing much of anything, just playing around with the phone and stuff, trying to keep the
And
phone.
kind of doing his fingernails too. Oh no.
And taking away the phone. And taking away the
Sorry.
phone. And thinking Roy thought he was over exerting himself or something like that. I don't know. I don't know how you'd say that, but.
Hyper.
And so I thought where Jay was in the house that someone might be watching me because I thought about Roy and Nick. So I kind of looked out the window and I go, you know what? I told Jay about that story and I go, well, he goes, why? Or do you feel like they're watching you now? I go, well, do you want to go? He goes, yeah.
Wow, I am amazed how complicated all that thinking process is. You know? These things
You
that
make it
trigger.
sound like I'm stupid.
No!
Or something.
It sounds like
Yeah,
complicated.
Like
Complicated.
watch the window and then.
Very.
That's not, I don't know if that's
Did you get
stupid.
lost?
Click.
I don't know if that's
It's
stupid,
teasing me.
but Brandy, you're talking about, I asked you the question of how you came to that conclusion kind of
I
thing.
told you.
And you told me about all these, what I will call triggers. They triggered one thing, one memory, maybe triggered another thing.
Well,
and
usually my
it's like
parents
the
come home
domino.
early too, and his car's there, and he's not like Jay Brown can run out the door and leave. He has his car there, so because he drives.
You know, I want to tie
So-
this into,
But Jay's
last
never
time.
like he's always been there every time you guys. I never try to hide him underneath the covers or underneath the bed from you guys or anything like that, or
I'd like to change the
in the
subject
bedrooms
for a
or
minute.
on the couch.
A little bit. Get off of the story a little bit and get away from that what actually happened. Is that okay for a minute?
You want me? I want to tell my story why I was mad at him.
I know. Is there more?
Yes.
I have a
lots
basic
more.
feel. Oh, there is?
No, just a little bit
We
more.
have only a little bit of time. Let me get on this, change the subject a little bit. I have a real impression,
tell why
Brandy,
you got mad at me.
that you are trying. And that's the cool thing. That is really, that's really positive thing is that you're trying. And so all your story basically is saying to me, I'm trying, Scott. I'm trying, Clint. I'm trying, Mom.
Now can I go home and live?
And you know, I remember when I watched the tape last time, I want to point this out, I want to say that wrapped up in some of all those things that you were sort of saying and angry and you were feeling left out, I think, and interrupting us, but part of that was because you were kind of left out of the discussion for a while. You said, when you were saying, you expect me to be perfect and you expect me to be goody two shoes and you expect me to be this and this and I'm not going to be that. You said also in there, but I'm going to try. And I wanted to, you know, I see a connection. I kind of didn't pick up on that then. But you did say you're willing to try, Brandy, and that's a key component. And it sounds like you're trying. And that is the start. That's the beginning.
This is our hold on a second. This is our best meeting. You know that this is the best meeting we've had.
Yeah, we haven't even get to talk.
I wanna go to
Oh,
King's
gosh.
Table.
Well, I
You've
wanted.
been talking good.
Can I go real
That's a
quick
good
and tell him
thing.
why he made me mad? He always gets to tell how come he gets
Oh
mad at me.
please, no more.
I made you mad?
Yes.
How come?
Well, when we were at the store and everything, and I got back and he dropped me off when I was getting ready to go to the races. I see Clint in the store. I knew Mom was out in the car, but I didn't think that she could see me or anything. So I didn't want Clint to say, "Go home now, you're in trouble," or "Go home because it's past your curfew." So I tried to sneak down. I beep beep. Hi, Mom. I run over to Mom. She goes, "What are you doing?" I go to the races and stuff. And by that time, Clint goes, "You get in the car." Or something. He said something, and he's sitting there. He goes, "Why did you lie to us?" And stuff. And he's all asking me this question. I go,
I didn't say that. I just told you to go home.
Yeah. and I
You're
go,
in deep trouble. Go home right now.
And I go, why? He goes, you know what you did. And I go, I don't know what you did. He goes, Angela said you were with her. Where were you tonight? And stuff. And he goes, you said you were with Angela and Jay. And I go, well, we dropped Angela off. He started carrying on a conversation. And Mom was trying to
And
get
then
back
that's
here.
why I said, just stop. Clint and listen and get the whole story before you start yelling. And the kids
And that was it. That was the.
And that was it. And he went home and it made me mad that he yelled at me, jumped to conclusions right there when he didn't hear my story. See?
I don't
And
know.
then
I
he went
just.
home, came home that night at 12:03, right on the dot. 12:03. I'm not lying. I didn't go anywhere else. I was with Julie and Tanya Combs that night. Whatever. You can even ask Joyce. Joyce had Julie and them walk me home. Ask Joyce.
I did.
What'd she say?
It's true.
Okay. See, how do you believe me? I came home at 12:03.
I
Gave
never
her made a
said I
telephone
did.
call to Donovan, see where Angela, if she made it home okay or not.
Then,
And then I hung
I
up the
wonder-
phone, checked on
But
Riley.
I
wonder if
I jumped at her because I felt like, okay, we had decided
Betrayed
we
his
were going to
trust.
give, exactly, we
That's
felt like we
betrayed.
were going to give Brandy some leadway and let her do, you know, let her have her freedom to an extent with a certain amount of rules in it. And she handled that well, but like she wrote the note and she didn't say where she was going
I didn't know.
or
See,
where
And
when
she
she'd be back.
apologized. She said she should have said that she went for a ride.
And then
I didn't know where I was going.
and
Because it's
then
too late to watch for movies. So
we
I-
come home, we find this note that doesn't say, all it says is, I'm with Jay and Angela. Then we run into Angela, and Angela tells us, well, I haven't seen Brandy since earlier today. So automatically, I got upset. I felt like I'd been betrayed because I'd give her my trust.
No, I dropped Angela off right after Mom called about an hour and a half after that. We were watching MTV and then I called Jay. I got bored and called him up.
Okay, but what amazes me is that this didn't get worse and explode into a thing. I mean, what you guys are, you know, this
I
stuff
like that
happens.
visit. That was awesome.
This stuff happens. You guys kept a lid on things, and that somehow did you do that? How did you keep a lid on it?
I don't know. I felt like getting along with my parents.
Lori helped.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Lori
Mom
did?
was like a counselor.
Shut
What
up.
did Lori do? Lori,
Shut
how'd
up.
you know? How'd you know what to do?
Well,
How'd you figure out what
She
to
knew
do?
if she could shut me up, Brandy wouldn't get any worse upset.
Well, I
No,
don't.
I
I
then-
wasn't. I control
No.
myself. I wasn't gonna have tizzy.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, if I would
You're the one that had
if
a
I
baby
would have,
fit.
if I would have yelled at you, then you would have yelled back, and
You
it could have.
you yelled at me.
No,
I
wait,
didn't
wait,
yell
wait, wait.
back.
You know what I'm saying?
And
See,
that's
he's
what happened.
he's yelled at
Right.
me.
Well,
at the
we
start.
did. Neither one of us really
You
yelled.
said that Lori knew that you, if you yelled too much at Brandy, that then you guys would get in a fight.
Right.
I'm
But-
Actually, if
But-
we would have got into it, it would have been my fault because I was
Okay.
the one that was out of
He's-
control.
He's-
At the store, he yelled at me. I never yelled back and started ranting and raving and bawling and
Right
crying.
on.
I just
How'd
said,
you-
"Yeah, Clint," and I said, "Yeah,
I
I agree
didn't
with
yell. I
him."
just said, Brandy, go home now.
Maybe
How
he
come,
did it.
I
Brandy?
used a stern
How come?
voice.
Why
I
didn't
wanted
you-
to get along. I wanted to make 2 nights. I wanted to go stay the night there. I just felt. I
Oh,
was in
okay.
a
So
good
your
mood.
goal is to get the 2 nights, and you're.
Oh, I'm not just doing that to get more nights. I was doing
Well,
it.
that
try
that's part
something
of
else.
it.
That's a goal. Remember what I said? Little goals.
Yeah, that's
Start
probably
reaching.
okay. The only thing that worries me about that is that
Well, I thought that's what you were
we
into. Like,
we don't have any more. There's only 2 nights in a weekend. We need another goal after that.
3-day
To go
weekends.
home.
Yeah,
But-
when does that come up? 3 months from now?
No.
Christmas vacation.
I just
I don't want to be here by my
Um,
birthday.
I just
Lori,
knew
how
that
did you know? Yeah.
because I just knew that he was stressing a lot, and that no matter what, even when I'd say things, that he'd get upset. So the little things like that, I just tell him, Clint, just stop
Wow.
and listen.
That's kind of got little
How do
nitpick
you
arguments.
know
and
that?
stuff
How
going
do
on.
you know when
Just
Clint's
as a
stressing
She
out?
knows me.
Just knowing him, I
You
guess.
know him?
Well,
No
they've been
sleep,
together.
long hours.
And then that and just knowing that he doesn't know what's gonna happen.
You know what that
after
reminded me
this.
of?
And I just knew that he's stressing, and I could just see the little things that Brian's doing, and I could just see the way that his body actions. I just knew that he was gonna, and he did. That's why I told Brandon, I said, just let him be a baby.
But does Clint usually respond to you the way he did? He sounds like he calmed down. He put a lid on it.
He goes like this. He goes,
He's-
I usually
Or-
get mad and then I just don't talk at all.
"It's fine,
Around
whatever."
slamming things around, but before he would still stop, but he still had to say what he had to say, and then he'd go off. This time
Right.
here, he kind of stops and he would listen a little bit. And it's like what he's talking about there.
I'm wondering. I want to make a connection here, okay? Because this,
Pretty.
I was trying last week. If you recall, Brandy, I want you to listen to this. If you
I'm
could.
listening.
And you too. Jason, right? Shoot. I forget. Jamie, Jason, and Wiley. Okay.
Nerd.
Remember last time took a long way around asking for first Clint to say what he looked for, what both of you look for in terms of Brandy sitting down and having a negotiation, and Brandy and I wanted to ask you, Brandy. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but it strikes me that one of the things that you might ask for, and that you just, been acknowledged about what happened last weekend, is to Clint to listen to you. That you have a feeling that he's really listening rather than
I know he does.
jumping to
He
conclusions.
just ignores me.
Jumping
like I
to
do him.
conclusions and not really listening. Similar to, you've been accused of doing that, and I think I've seen times.
He's accused
I've seen
me.
times when you don't listen, but so you guys listening to each other.
He,
Did you say
well,
that?
the reason why I was doing that because I remember before when, like, he has accused me of something and it turns out to be a knock on juggernaut, I go to juvie or something. So I figured I have 7 days hanging over my head, 7 days.
Mhm.
And if I judge to that, anyways, I don't want to go back there anymore. I think that we should try to get along now.
Was there any other things that you thought about in the last week about how they could treat you so that you would feel 14 and a half, whatever age you are?
Like all the other kids at school.
Yeah, what is it, how can they treat you that you will feel that way, so that you will be able to sit down and talk over a subject
Well,
like rules?
my parents care. I know they care, but most of the parents is. My mom's the one and only. I don't want her to be like any other moms. See, I want her to be her own self. I'm Clint. There's no other Clint, so I don't have to worry.
She's fighting for an independence. I can see that because the three of her friends that she really likes to run around with a lot have a great deal of independence. They don't have a real
See,
structure.
they could go out and stay out late, and I figure, I want to be with that friend. I want to do it there. Mom says, no, I worry about you. You have to stay
It's kind
late.
of she's under
What
the
will
peer
happen?
pressure to do what the three friends do, and it
They're
doesn't
not telling me
always.
to do it. I just want to do it because
Right,
it's fun.
it's peer
It's-
pressure. Is what that's called. And we're a little bit more structured. I mean, we're lenient from time to time.
Well,
But
their
there's
parents.
times like she'll run through the door and it'll be just say 8 o'clock and she says, Mom, Glenn, can I go with Sandra and Angela? They're going up to so and so's house. Brandon, it's getting late. Oh, come on, their parents say it's okay.
Scott, no.
That's
So here's
Listen to this.
teenage viewpoint on rules. Here's parent viewpoint
But-
on rules.
Let's go.
Right.
How are you guys going to get closer together to find something that works for both?
Well, we're willing to give in, I'm sure.
Well,
Some I'm not.
Clint has done some pretty nice things. I think he could have done some things to get me a junior just like that, but I've been staying out like past my curfew, coming home till like 3 or 4 in the morning.
Wow, Clint did some nice things.
Well, that was a long time ago when I was living there, but he's done.
But actually, see what
I didn't mean to say it like that, like he never does nice
my
things.
Yeah.
my
But I
problem
mean,
there was with this
Scott.
thing with
Oh,
her
that
being
was mean.
my
Really?
problem there with her being under stuff. I was always the one that would sit there and say, Brandy, you're gonna get yourself back in juvie. You're gonna get caught.
So I don't
So
care.
I don't care, And that's where, and I'd be trying to use that, wake up, think, Brandy, And it was like she didn't care, she didn't think. But that seems to be changing for her.
under some circumstances, we would let her go out and stay on it because she had been being good. We do know the police officers in Rainier.
They like
That
me.
if she did
Styles
get
likes
it,
me.
if she's just out standing around and talking, not doing anything,
He'll let it go.
they let it go. But if she's out doing something really bad and they saw
Smoking
it,
or drinking or
they would
reckless
come
driving.
to us. It wouldn't just take her in. So on some things, they know what she's supposed to be doing.
Are you
and,
sig-
know.
are you, so I'm not clear.
I'm just saying, that's what I'm saying.
Are
that
you guys
sometimes we
saying
give in on
that
certain
letting
things.
certain things go is that a way to have a healthier relationship between you guys?
I think
Sometimes, not
giving
all the
in-
time.
Well, not so much as giving in, but I think compromising.
Right. She wants to go out until midnight, and it's 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock should be like a compromise.
Well, Scott, another thing is though, when they say I'm out, my friends walk up and down the road, so I go out there, stand on the road, and talk. Or I go across the road. Jay Brown used to walk up there all the time. I used to go out and talk to him all night long. You just sit out there and talk. Or Adam and Lori Kerr, she lives right down the road. Now that she knows I come every weekend, she'll walk up down the road while I talk and Adam. Then so I go out there in the yard. Most of the time I don't leave the yard when I talk to my friends, or I have them come over.
Okay.
That's That's where we
Brandy,
compromise.
See, we're
how
not.
can you, is it still an important thing for you to feel that you're treated as a 14-year-old and not some little kid? Is that important?
Yeah, but yeah,
It's important.
I don't want to be. What are you saying? I didn't even understand what you're saying.
Is it important that you feel, you indicated last week that it was important to you that you said that they treat you like you're a little kid.
Well, I'm just going. Well,
And I want to
haven't
know
been
how
saying
they
that.
can treat you so that you don't feel like a little kid, so that you feel older. Now that might be
Let
sometimes.
me do what I used to do when I used to
That
live
might,
there.
yeah, but I'm talking about if you guys are sitting down to a negotiation, it's important.
Say yes to everything I ask.
That's not necessarily
I
treats you
know.
like
But
that.
Fantasy.
That was the way it used to be, kind of. We'd
Well,
say no, but
How do you?
I took it as yes.
just
How
exactly.
should parents? How should any parents treat a teenager that's 14 years old as opposed to how they might treat a 6-year-old? What's the difference? What's important to you?
Not be as strict on me if I do something real serious.
Okay, but how about in the way that that a negotiation is done? You know, I mean, is a 6-year-old somebody that sits down at the dinner table with their parents and talks over what rules are okay and what rules aren't okay?
Well, I don't
and
mind
talks
that. I
about
mean, I can have
feelings
some
and all
rules,
that kind of stuff?
But I want one rule really enforced. Really enforced. No, it's a good rule. Okay, I'll be out at something. I want 10:30 to be my bedtime. Make it a half hour after because he gets that half hour after.
I go to
And that
bed
way
at
I know
9:30.
I have to. If I don't come in there, then I have to do some little like consequence, like do the dishes for a week.
You know, I'm gonna say something here.
What about something like that? I
I'm
want
gonna
that rule
say
enforced.
that before that I refuse to believe that the first step towards this family counseling is to determine what rules are okay and what rules aren't okay. I don't think that's the first step. I think the first step is to finding out how people feel about themselves. I need to know, I think it's important, Brandy, for you to be able to say how you can be, not the rules that make you feel like a big kid because you get to go and have freedoms, but how can the way that they treat you as a human being and as a teenager make you feel like you have a voice, that you have some respect, that you know, blah, blah, blah. What's important?
I want to be a part of.
just that.
I want to be. Well, I think if I do something, like say that I do something, or if, like say that a little kid, like one of the little kids do something like not so serious, but they make them do something like a bigger consequence of what they did. I feel like I could jump in and do it, stand up for my brothers and sisters' rights, because they can't talk back. I feel that I've done. I could tell them what I feel. They can't. If they do, they get in more trouble. So I feel I could jump in and help them, tell them, stick up for them, and tell them, tell them what I think should be right. But I know I can't do that because they're the parents and stuff. But it makes, that's what our arguments are. I want to stick up for my brothers and sisters. I want to just jump in there and say, no, this is the way. But I want to go there and I want to say, can't it be done like this? Can't you just let it off until next time or something? No, and then they yell at me and then I yell back and then argue right there.
Really?
Yes.
I have heard that before, that you said that, but I've heard you guys have talked certainly about other kinds of arguments that are specifically about you, not stemming from arguments about the kids. So there's both kinds, is that what
That's
you're telling
basically
me?
what it
There's
is
the
right
two
there.
kinds? But there's
She
some that are
likes-
just about your own permission.
I like sticking up for them. I feel that they don't have no say in what they.
Okay, so
get
how
jumped
could
for.
Lori and Clint treat you in such a way, I mean, are you requesting that they
No,
that they
because
give
I
you
know
some
I couldn't do that.
some
It wouldn't be
advisory
fair.
role?
It'd be like me being a parent. I'm not. I'm just one of their kids. I'm my mom's kid, but I.
So what needs to
shouldn't-
happen?
But when I'm babysitting,
What needs to happen so that you won't get into these kinds of arguments?
when they discipline the kids, do it away from me.
Do it away from you?
Or have Clint come talk to me in the other room or something while mom's disciplining. What really makes it bad is like,
That's an idea.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah,
comes.
it is. be a good idea.
I just,
But see, a lot of that too, and what has changed is that he was a firm believer in spankings.
you
Was.
spank.
I have, and we.
That's what, it makes me want to
We
cry.
have-
haven't
lot
give them guys spankings.
And we've been trying to get out of it. We're not beyond spanking, but
They
our
pull their pants down.
but our kids haven't got one.
I think it makes me
couldn't
want
tell
to
you.
cry. I just want to go there and rip my mom off of him and start beating
That's it.
her. How does it feel? It just,
Makes
that
you want to
urge.
cry.
Yes, because I know what it's like when I was like that. My kids do that stuff to me all the time, and I don't feel that they should do what I did and stuff. So I want to go in there and just take my mom's neck and leave my brothers and sisters alone.
And now it's
And it makes me want to cry, and then that's weird. That feeling, it's inside of you. It makes you want to cry, and you're just so mad. And one time, Mom was spanking Jane, and I walked up and opened the door, and she told me to leave the room. I said no, and then I didn't want to get chased by the belt either, so I shut the door. And Julie knows what it's like. I go out there, and she knows I get upset. Julie has to hug me and stuff because she knows this is. I don't like that.
But
Another
still, we're
thing
not
of-
beyond doing it. But we haven't spanked them in a long, long.
Yeah.
I don't
And
mind,
if
like, a
Brandy,
pop
if
on the
Brandy
head.
feels that she has
Or-
the right to say something in the correction, then maybe she should
Talk to
call us
yeah.
alone, not in front, because that was the main thing that got Brandy in trouble. Was like, they don't have to listen to you guys. I wouldn't do that if I were you guys, to the little ones. And that's what got Brandy in trouble. If she feels like we did something wrong,
loved-
then she can confront us, but
Scott-
not in front of the little ones. Talk to us.
Oh yeah, because as a
Similar to
kids,
what I said to you guys
Exactly.
about doing your own
Right.
talk,
'Cause other
negotiating outside of the kids.
why they don't
Well,
want me to
that's
yell
right.
at them for the kids
Right.
is because
Exactly.
Because I know how it feels when Mom and Clint will get argument over me. I say, yeah. Either Clint will stick up for me. Clint never, ever sticks up for me for Mom. Ever. Maybe once.
Wait,
Well,
I didn't hear
couple
that.
times.
You said that
Yeah.
too quick. Clint
Yeah.
never ever who? What?
He'll stick up for me, but over serious things he will. But over little things, I feel like he wants to get on Mom's good side all the time. He wants to suck up to Mom, be right there with Mom, agree with Mom so they don't get in an argument. So then when Mom sticks up for me, I like it. I like it when they get arguments because Mom sticks up for me, but I don't like it when they get arguments where it's split up. All that stuff. Say they're gonna split up. Clint says I'm gonna leave and stuff. He cries. I hate that one so. But I like. But
So
I feel
Brandy,
like Mom
what-
stick up for me, and it makes me like. I don't know.
But you know what we've noticed too is Clint and I have been kind of watching each other too, and we tell each other. And one thing about him that we've been working on is that I've been trying to get him to talk to, especially to Brandy, to word his feelings. I know he means good, but it's like you have to, you need to, and
But
I
I'm
want
telling
you
you,
to
you
do.
have
And he
to, you
tells
do.
me
My
that stuff.
vocabulary
And
stinks
he's
when it
hurt my
comes to
feelings
talking.
really, really bad.
Yes, I'm in trouble today for that.
On
Wow,
that
you
thing.
guys are really coming up with a lot of ideas. It sounds like. It
So
really
I
does
I
sound
think
like
that
you're
if
coming
you
up
do
with
it,
ideas.
if she would,
Now you
it
can't
would
say I
sound
haven't
so
tried.
negative.
Have I been trying, Scott?
Sounds like you're trying. It does.
I've been trying before too, but it's
So it
hard.
sounds like you're getting it
You
better.
know what?
It
It's-
sounds like
it's-
you're getting a clue as to.
I
what
always
trying
knew the clue.
really
I
is.
just never wanted to do it. I know what I'm doing. I know, but I just never. I was mad. And I never
There
wanted.
was a lot
Here.
more hugging, kissing, and I love yous this weekend too, instead of
Yes.
just.
I was hanging.
The one
Oh.
thing though, Brandy's got to admit is she wasn't in the greatest of moods when she first come over. Neither was I. Neither one of us really were. And we nitpicked a little bit. We did, because I mean, she'd like close the door fast in my face, or I'd trip her.
I was joking
It
once
was-
because you do
right.
it to me.
Well,
so
we
I
were
figured,
both doing that, but our moods weren't right to be doing that, because the first time I did something back at
Scott.
her, she got grouchy, and then I'd get grouchy.
Scott, you know what
And
you
then
did?
Lori's like, I don't want to hear neither one of you. So
Is
actually,
that a problem? Is that a problem?
We could.
well, it was in that mood.
Usually,
I mean,
but they need to pick up on feelings more.
right. I mean, it was like, haha, I get the best of you, and so it was.
Well,
You know,
you know what he
it
did?
got to where get the best of one another, and then Lori got tired of it, and when she intervened, then we both quit it.
The
And
big
then
one.
you would
and then
tease
everything
her.
went.
Well, see,
good
that's
after
what
that.
amazes me. I mean,
Right.
it doesn't amaze me because I don't trust you or have any
We
faith in
actually-
you.
actually-
But Randy, why? I mean, now I've heard that Clint put a cap on it. Now and then I heard
Finally.
that both of you did. So how did you get? I mean, this is. How do you?
Some
how do you?
intervention.
Because he would go
Somebody
with the
that
hearings
was
to go
had
in
a
the
civil
car.
feeling of.
What's different now that you're listening to when Lori has a sense of when to say time out or whatever?
When he
What's
gets-
different now that you're
We're
both
not
are
playing a
listening
game
to
to try to get her attention.
What's different that you're both listening?
I don't know. I just. I'm
I
not
think
listening.
we've
It's
turned
just
on
that.
to feelings a lot
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
being more
when
considerate.
I'm with mom and everything, we got along good.
He
We went
still
around the
tried
store.
to tease her, and she did really good. Like we were getting in the car, going out to breakfast. And he's like,
Oh.
"Haha, we got you in the car. We're going garage selling."
Yeah, he goes, there's a garage
And then
sale,
she,
let's
before
go.
that, she was gonna get out of the car. I said, "Clint, knock it off." I mean,
Yeah,
we're
because he
not
goes, let's go
going-
garage selling now. It's a good time. Look at the weather.
Because she'd already asked before we even go. She goes, "We're not going garage selling." And I said, "No, we're not."
And so he got in the car. He goes, "That's a good day for garage sale, huh, babe?"
But
I
that's
know.
something.
And I go,
That is
Mom, are you
something
serious?
that
I was
I've
about ready to get out of
always
the car and go back, and he goes, and Mom goes, no, he's joking. And she kind of said, Clint, cool it, or something like that.
And then he goes, "Haha, sorry."
And then,
Because that's her favorite thing to do. She'll get you just where you're
oh,
almost to the point, and then it's sigh.
there was deer. Listen, we were driving down the road. There was this deer, and I go, Clint, look at the deer. He didn't look. My mom looks. He goes, there's deer. And he goes, because we're always saying, look, there's a frog, or look, there's a deer. We always look, but there's nothing there.
And then
So I go, look.
sigh.
And then there was a deer there, and it was no psych except for he goes, yeah, right. So we had to turn it off black and stuff. But it was, I wasn't joking that time. I wasn't saying psych. I didn't do it. And then right, we were all the way down the road. There's like, garage sale, should we go, huh? And then I just didn't say that. Then I started talking to mom.
I see she's saying all of the way down the road. It was only a couple of times.
That's what I
In a
meant.
10-mile radius.
Okay.
It was
Scott's questions aren't getting answered. Unless he can pick it out of all the things
No,
we're saying.
I'm feeling okay, Clint. I'm feeling fine.
You better be.
I think what I'm gonna do is do a summary of what I'm feeling and make a couple suggestions, and we're gonna be done for today.
No, I want to talk more. I'm getting really good. Let's go forever. Now I
you
can.
can do it.
Next Tuesday, counseling.
Okay, one thing is that I sure want to compliment you all on how you are listening to each other, because that is the key, big, huge, humongous key, because that doesn't just mean communication, which is a nice word, you know, but it also equates to self-esteem and self-respect, feeling good about yourself. And that really is the key, that you all, families, need to nurture each other's self-esteem. And when they do that, family is a nurturing place. And when you don't do that, family is a place that sucks energy rather than gives energy. Okay? So in general, you want to give more energy to each other than you suck, because you're always going to take some. Okay? So that's one thing. Listening is really important, and you're doing that, and it's neat. The other thing is that you can't expect I don't expect that you guys are going to be doing good every visit or all the time. I think, I have a suggestion. I suggest that Clint and Brandy in particular, that you have planned, and I'm serious about this, this isn't a joke, that you plan to have fights. I would like to suggest that this weekend on your home visit, that you plan to have a fight. Plan to have one of those things
want
that you
us
were
to have a
talking
fight?
about,
Is that
not a
what you said?
fight, but plan to say, okay, let's do our verbal jousting
No.
for X amount
That'll
of
start
time.
a fight.
Just
He'll-
X amount of time.
No, because it'll start a fight. He'll go like this. He'll go, well, you did this, and he'll do something like that, and he'll do little things that it'll really make me mad. Not just joking, it'll really make me mad, and then I'll get mad. I don't want it to be like that.
Okay.
I don't want to get in a fight. I want to.
Well, I would suggest that it's better when you can see things coming than when you can't see them coming. And if you plan it, then you plan an end also.
Well, what if we just go like this? If we are gonna get in a fight, just plan our things to where we don't want to get in a fight, or do you see what I'm saying? Kind of.
How about a time limit to it?
What are you talking about? To what?
If you start getting in a fight that somebody puts a time limit on it, there's a definite, hey, this, 5 minutes is up, you guys cut it out.
No,
And then you'll have to go some, because usually the getting over it period is a
it's a
lot longer.
long time.
Timeouts.
We'll go through the house and still nitpick and escalate another one, or I'll be on the
That's.
phone.
I mean, I don't know
Listen to
why.
this
I mean, we
before
don't
6
even.
o'clock.
I'll be honest with you. We don't even think about what we do. I can tell you right now, Brandy doesn't think when she.
I think about what I'm gonna do.
No, I mean you really don't. You just kind of walk by
Think
and
about
it's
what I'm
just
gonna
like.
do to nitpick at you.
No, when you walk by, you don't think what you're gonna do. You just do something, and it's like, oh, I betcha. And then next
say,
round, the
"Ha, I
next
gotcha."
corner. No, but that's what you. I
Or
mean, that's.
when I want to
next
use
fresh.
the phone, Brad, get off the phone. I have to call Gene. Get off now.
See,
and then
that's
fight over the
that's
That's
where.
fighting on his part.
Or
That's.
or when he's getting ready to call mom at this work, I'll go, I'm using the phone, or I'll fight over the phone or something. I'll take the phone away.
Phone's horrible in our house.
As far as me and Roy, he smacked me with it.
But actually, we don't. I don't know. It was kind of weird. I mean, it was like Brandy was picking and I was picking, and we both knew that one another was in a bad mood. But yet, somehow inside, we both knew when not to pick. Because it was neither one of us really pushed each other over the edge this time. You know what I'm saying?
We kept
How-
I mean, we kept it. We kept it.
short.
Yeah, I mean, it was like I said something. I seen that it bothered Brandy, but yet it wasn't that. You know, it was like, well, that shouldn't have bothered you. And then she said something back that kind of bothered me, and then it was like,
Ha ha ha.
instead of having the second and third added to that, it was like, okay, those didn't work. Let's try something else. And it was like we're both trying to lighten the mood, but yet it wasn't really lightening the mood. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I mean, it was like she
How-
knew when she had my goat, and I knew when I had hers, but yet we didn't just push it to the edge. Either
Is
one
that
of us.
true, Bryn? Do you agree with Clint on that?
Uh-huh.
You did know where the edge was? The
It's like
edge of-
Yes.
It's like she
Been through
knows.
this lots of times.
Yeah.
It's like she does something, and it's like
And does your mom know? Does Lori know probably where
she
the
could
edge is
read
better
both of
than
us
either
like
of
a
you guys?
book. Yes.
Not all. I mean,
I
pretty
can
much,
both
but there's
view like a
times
book.
that I don't catch
It could-
if I'm not listening.
They
or
will
paying
go in the
attention.
bedroom and they'll sit there. Then they'll hear. Listen, I know Clint. He'll wait for me to walk around or do something. What are you doing? Get in a drink. It's like I'm gonna sneak out or something or do something horrid. Cause something, but I'm not. I get a drink or I get really thirsty for a 7-Up. So my favorite pop usually have 7-Up in the fridge. Here's what I get up. What are you doing? I feel like he doesn't trust me or something. I've never snuck out of the house before. I just walk out the door, but then I've never had to sneak out of the house because I never abided by any of the rules then and stuff. So their no meant yes to me. When they said yes, I knew they wanted to say no.
Okay, well, I'm lost already. I'm
I
sorry.
am too.
Me too.
But
There was a point
I
there somewhere.
do think about you guys think about it. Think about planning if fights are not fights. If bickering is an inevitable part of life at the Grice home and Davis home, then plan. Have controlled.
There's only one
controlled
Grice in
bickering.
that family. That's all.
Actually-
Then control it a little bit. Think about endings, so that you further define what the edge is, what the limit is.
Actually,
you guys are doing it. You
this-
guys are starting to do it.
This time around, it wasn't. I mean, it wasn't a constant pick back and forth. It was like a little pick, upset, and then it was quiet, a cool down time. Then it was
Pick.
your turn to pick,
Mhm.
and then it was quiet.
Okay. Okay. Good.
Not necessarily like that, was it?
Good.
I read it how like that.
Brandy, I feel you give lots of credit for trying.
Wake it up.
Nope. Go sit down.
Why?
Because I asked you to.
And however you're figuring out how to get those triggers going, to remember the right to know, remember that you're not supposed to have somebody in the house. Remembering those things, keep doing it. Keep doing it. You know how to do that better than anybody in the world, how to trigger your own brain. and that's real important because I think all those little things show
You
your
make
parents.
it sound like I'm an idiot because I know how to trigger around bread like I've never
No,
had
I think we
before.
all
Giving you a
have.
compliment.
I think there's whole classes that you can
But-
take on how to improve your memory. We all probably could improve our memory. They say these guys that teach the class they claim that we could improve our memory about 50 times as well. And they recall, somebody sprays out numbers at them and they'll repeat them right back to you. You ever seen those advertisements on TV?
Yeah, I don't
So,
know.
Brandy, I'm talking about everybody, we each have our own little ways that our memory works, and you know yours better than anybody. I've spaced lots of things. You probably do too. If you can figure out a little bit how to remember some important things regarding family life, you're going to be better off. And that is a way of communicating non-verbally to your parents that you are trying.
I wish I had
I wish I had.
a final say when I could go home. Right when the day I could go home. Wish that would be. I'm tired. I don't want to sit at the house no more. It's boring. There's nothing to do. Oh, talk to Grandma about seeing if Jake could come take me to the movie stuff. He said, yeah, but it has to be approved by Scott. And if you talk to him, said if Scott's okay. So that's what I want to ask you about. Okay. What's that look
Wait
for?
a second.
Listen.
You have
Has
to
to
have
have-
Scott's
No.
okay for Jay Brewer to take you to the movie?
Just listen. I go, Grandma, Mom, remember like how Eve, when I said I had to go stay that with Eve, but I had to call Scott to see if I could go there? She goes, yeah. I go, what if my mom talked to you about saying if Jake could come get me? Because over at her house, she have to at least know the guy for a month, 2 months. He has to come over every day and stuff like that. But he can't do that. He has football practice, he has other things to do. But I said, I go, well, what if my mom talked to you? She goes, that would be fine, but I want to have Scott's okay on it if that would work.
Well, I'm pretty confused.
Well,
I'm
yeah,
not
because-
sure. I want to make sure that I'm not biting off more than I can chew, and I don't want to be the boss on everything under the sun that happens in your life. Whether you can go to the bathroom next.
Because,
to
like,
that.
That's
this-
what she. I know. See, I
But
cannot
I'm
do
saying-
anything without. Okay, Scott, listen to
But
this.
what I'm saying is that there might be somebody else we can put this on, like Phyllis or somebody.
Phyllis, yeah.
Phyllis.
Let's just roll it down there.
Put it on Phyllis.
Well, see, this weekend when she came over, we were gonna let her go to the movies with Jay if that's what she wanted to do.
It's my mom's house. She
for
was-
for a timeout away from us, if they, for
Yeah.
her to have, the
Who's
type
this
of thing that
guy?
we would
This
let.
is a boyfriend, a male friend.
That's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
Jay,
He's good out with the girl.
he's all right.
He's good. Awesome football player.
And you want to go out to the movie while you're on a visitation, or while you're at Wilmington?
I'm well not woman pants. On visitation, I know I can if it's right with them. A lot
Okay.
long as I'm off
I will
restriction.
talk to between now. Did you guys hear about that? I'm out of town on Friday.
You're
No,
always
but I
out.
heard that we were rescheduling the article
Oh,
that's
he
for
didn't tell you
next-
why.
No.
Because I screwed up with my wife. So I'm around Wednesday and Thursday. I will talk to Wilma and find out if this even needs our permission. And hopefully we can put it on somebody else.
Well, I mean, I see maybe
He's
where
white.
Wilma's coming from because she don't know Jay.
Do you guys support him and Brandy going out to a movie?
She's let us before.
Under the
He's never
under
proven.
if it's going to be over at Wilma's, then she'll have to discuss the rules with Wilma as far as
Okay, but
what
he's
time-
an okay
yeah.
character.
Yeah, he is.
Okay, what's his name?
Jay Brewer.
Jay Brewer.
Jay Brewer.
J-A-Y
Most of the guys.
B-R-E-W-E-R.
Okay, thank you.
Most of them around Rainier are.
Okay. So yeah,
Not
we're
Jay.
putting off the thing a week. We're not going to discuss right now when Brandy is coming home. I think that's still, I can't pinpoint it. Brandy wants to know if she can stay 2 nights.
Can I?
Do you guys think?
Yeah. You do. Yes, they said yes.
Do you think it can work?
If I'll put it this
This
way,
is-
if it doesn't work,
I'll take her home.
we can always give her a ride home if it gets
No!
real bad.
I'll
No,
run
I'm
away.
not saying. No,
I'm joking.
you listen, Brady.
Yeah, but I don't think it
If
will
it-
if it goes
I-
like last week.
Yeah, if it goes like this last one, there'll be
Will
no
you
problem.
accept that condition?
Yes. But I don't want to give you a ride home. Why can't we work it out? That's what we're going to be doing in the home.
See what
Wait,
she
wait,
said.
See, if I'm
wait,
living
wait
in the
a-
home,
Yeah.
listen, if I'm living in the home, what are they gonna do when I breaks out army? Just take me home. Where's my other home? Juvie? You can't do that.
What
Or
we're
there
saying-
might be an
what-
out. There might be some place where if your behavior was intolerable.
My friend's house on the streets.
Pat and Wilma, they're your grandparents.
Brandy, first of
See,
all,
that's what I'm saying. They hate that. What if I move out? They want to get me to go in. They are sick of being my foster parents. They're my grandparents. They're sick. Because see what they're saying is, oh, another thing is, Grandma was.
Let them speak for themselves.
Brandy,
Yeah, but listen to this. Well, Grandma said when I go over there stay the night, the time I have to go home is like 6 o'clock. She said, because that's what you said, is it, until you raise that a higher time. She said that's what she said, so she has to make me go up at 6 o'clock. Can you raise that time to like maybe 7:30?
Possibly. I mean, I don't even know what you're talking about at the moment.
Wilma has told Brandy, evidently, from what we understand, that she has to be back at the Pinchum's residence by 6 o'clock.
I mean,
Sundays.
24-hour period. Is that what you're talking about? A visit is 24 hours?
Well,
So
Yeah.
if she goes at 6.
no, I mean, it doesn't matter
If
what
she
time
comes
she
and they're
comes
home
over.
at 10 o'clock,
Sunday
she's
she
back
has to
there
be home
by
at 10.
6.
Now, whether
6, you mean,
or I mean, yeah, 6.
on Sunday.
Right. Whether it's your rule, I mean, that's what Brandy's got. That it's your rule. It may just be Wilma's rule that she
I
has
think
to be
it's
home by
Wilma's rule.
6 because of maybe getting ready for school
think it's
or
Wilma's
something
rule.
like that.
Well, she said that's what until you make it a higher time. That's what your rule was. So, see, I don't know what. Maybe she just doesn't want me to stay that long time. Maybe I don't know.
Maybe
she's
she.
confusing
Maybe
me.
she.
I
wants
think if you're gonna
you
spend the
to.
night on Sunday night and Sunday's the begin, that's the end. The
Can you make
beginning
it
of
to
the
where-
week. We're not. I think I'll talk it over with Wilma. I'll talk all this stuff over with Wilma.
Okay.
This is not gonna get. I think it's a good idea. I can tell you this off the cuff that it's a good idea for you to go back and spend a few hours back in the Wilma and Pat household and getting ready to go to bed early and get settled down and go to school.
Scott,
It's a school night.
So
It's
Brenda,
a
see
school
now, if you stay
That's
the whole 2
stupid.
It's not
Listen.
stupid at all.
if you stay the whole weekend, the whole 2 nights, 6 o'clock isn't bad because at that time we have to go get Jason and Jean.
Yeah. Okay.
But if
Maybe even earlier.
yeah.
No.
6 o'clock is because usually we take her home, then we go straight to East Olympia and pick up
Yeah,
her too.
okay.
But what I
We're
think
talking
she
about-
means is like if she comes over like Friday night or
I know. I'm not coming up Friday night
Instead.
at 6. I come home right after I get done at community service site. Jerry, come pick me up. Take me straight to your house.
if she comes over then and then she has to go home Saturday, what she's thinking and it's why if she comes over at 10 o'clock in the morning,
If
why
it's
does
a
she
one
have
night-
to stay until 6? Why
Right.
can't she stay until like 8 or 9?
I know.
It's like
hate
if
that.
she comes over Friday after school, and it's for a 1-day period. Wilma says 6 o'clock Saturday period.
Because usually she would make it over to the house about 10 and then we have to take
But
her
usually,
at 6.
if I work,
Go.
I don't
He
even
spends
see
no
Brandy
time with
until 4 o'clock, and then if we go to dinner, I usually come home, take a shower. It's
We're
5:30.
late.
Then it's like, well, you'll have to call your grandma. Then, no, Scott said, it's
Yeah.
what,
That's
that's
She
what
said
we
she
get
goes
from
like
Brandy.
this. She goes, "This is what really made it sound like it was your vote." She goes, I had it right on my mind, and you kept jabbing your jaws.
Well,
Guys,
that's fine.
So just
That's
talk to her,
fine. I
yeah.
mean, we'll have to deal with these things just exactly the way we are right now. If Wilma says that, then you're gonna have to wait a week, and in the meantime, Wilma and I can talk and get
Mhm.
things reevaluated. So it's just gonna be that way. It's frustrating, but that's the way it's gonna be.
Well, if she stays the 2 nights, I don't think 6 o'clock is bad on
Totally
Sunday.
reasonable to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So can I
but
stay 2
if
nights?
if she gets back to the 1-day thing, where she's there at 10 o'clock in the morning on Saturday, then I don't, because he's been working on Saturdays, that if we upped it a little bit, then it gives
Oh,
us time
this
to
is
go
what
out
it
to
was.
dinner or just to sit and visit.
Grandma
her.
goes like this. She goes, well, I would let you go over anytime you wanted to. I would let you stay as long as you wanted to, but Scott said.
Right,
And she'll
that's
give-
fine, that's fine,
But I hate that.
That's rules.
that's fine. That's the way we're setting up this team, and that somebody's, sometimes the buck stops on my door, and that's the way it is. You're sure, you feel confident, you do want 2 nights?
I don't want to stay at home either.
You're
Yes.
confident? You're confident that,
Yeah.
there's a certain downside, the possibility that the more time you spend at home, the more risk there is of something that will
I want to
cause
spend more time with
people
so I
to
can
say,
live at
oh,
home.
well, Brandy's not ready yet, I guess we better cut it back to one day.
No.
So,
I can do
okay,
it.
you're pretty confident then.
You're making me frustrated.
Are
I know
you
I can do it.
confident? You're
yes,
confident.
Yes, I said yes 5,000 times. Yes.
Right on.
Okay.
Lori and Clint, are you willing to try it?
With Brandy?
Yeah. After this weekend, I think she's actually
did
decided
okay.
to really try.
Okay, this,
Fun.
then you can, then we'll work it out so that she can come after community service hours.
Stop.
And then all I ask is that you guys talk to Wilma or Pat. Not just Brandy doing the negotiation, but one of you talk to Wilma and Pat about transportation, about the hours, and clarify that. And then you share it and stuff.
Usually
We'll
if
see
they
what
could
we've
just
been doing
bring
is
her,
they
then we
bring
can
her
take
over and then we take her
Yeah.
home.
That's fine.
We'll
So
ask, cause usually
I want adults doing that. That's an adult duty in my opinion. Clarifying that rule.
we can ask her.
Okay. Now can we leave?
And also, it's my desire that unless there's been previous plan, that you guys take Brandy right home to Pat and Wilma's after this meeting on Tuesday. Unless you figure out in advance that, really have to do something else or whatever. And I have to go, because I have to get up
Yes.
to St. Martin's. And ref,
And ref.
I'm hungry.
college volleyball.
Yeah.
I like to go home.
Yeah. Mommy.
Well, I don't care. I
No,
have to
I
be-
mean,
I have to be in
does
by
that make
7
you
on
feel like
weekdays,
you're
no matter what I
does
do, or
that
I'll
make
get a
you feel
PB.
like 10 years old or what? I mean, I don't understand.
No, that's a
exactly.
stupid
How do we make you
example.
feel
That is a
little,
stupid
Brandy?
example, Clint.
Okay, how do we make you feel little?
By treating me like them. Tell me, do those stupid rules, write sentences. I ain't not gonna write sentences. I'm
We
not.
didn't say you had to write
You
sentences.
yes, you did.
I'd
Why
like
can
to
we wind it and
suggest,
watch it?
Clint, that you might ask, how can we treat you and make you feel like you're 14 years
Okay, or can I ask her how? What
No,
what is a
you
15?
just asked
what
me
are
that.
the rules? What are
Clint-
the rules that a 15-year-old should go by?
I don't know.
Brandy?
How would you feel?
No, wait.
I mean, I
No.
Not
See,
specific
I
on
mean-
the rules, but the feeling of being treated as your age and not being condescended to or treated like you're
okay.
a
How
little
does
kid.
how does a 15-year-old
Yeah.
act?
How would you?
Or
Yeah, how would you want to feel? How would you like to be treated by them? Yeah. You're getting closer. Keep going. Keep trying.
I don't know.
How would you feel at 15? How did you feel at 15?
How do you want?
Did you want to be treated?
I was pretty much treated. I mean, I had freedoms as long
Yeah, I
as
don't.
as long
I'm
as I
15.
called my mom. I mean, I never went nowhere as a
Who's
teenager.
gonna give an
that my
example and
mom-
say that so he think I'm
that
gonna
my
do that?
mom
Forget
or
it.
anybody didn't know where I was at all times.
He's gonna look at that.
And then I lived with my sister, and she always knew where I was at.
See, look at that. He's trying to say that so
No,
that
Brandon, that's true because I've talked with Trina,
you get.
and she's told me that without even asking.
I mean, that's
Care
just. I mean
treatment.
that. Brandy wants the freedom, but
She
we
was dumb
want
and she
her
lied.
to the responsibility to take
You didn't tell me that, Mom.
responsibility enough to at least pick up the phone and dial 7 numbers and say, "Hey, Angela wasn't home. I'm
No,
at
I want you to
Sands."
come home right now. You
Yeah.
lied. You said you were gonna be at this place, and remember what you told the kids? If you're gonna go someplace and they're not there, don't go straight to another place. You come straight home.
Or
Well,
you
forget
call
it.
Brandy.
What is being treated like a 14-year-old? How do you want to be treated, Brandy?
Like a 14-year-old.
What is that? I need to know what
I
that
don't
is.
know.
I
I
don't
want
either.
to treat you like a little kid.
I don't think any of us know, but we need to know what
They
you
should
know.
read their books then. She says she has books for rules.
No, but
and-
that might not apply
It's not for
specifically
rules.
to you. We want to know about you.
I don't know. I know, but I don't know how to put it in words. I don't want to be. All I have to say is I don't want to be treated like them, little kids. I feel sorry for them bad enough. They have to write sentences. It's so stupid. Maybe, but they sometimes deserve it. But
Well, what type? I mean,
Do you think you're going to get your own special little rules?
no,
Just
I don't
because
think I'm
you're
gonna
a
get my own
teenager.
special little.
There's just going to be
rules.
basic rules, Brandy.
Yeah.
And some are
Being
going to
home
be
by dark.
modified
On
for
and on and on and
teenagers.
on and on and on and on
As to
and
Jason,
on.
as to Wiley, as to Jamie. Those two have to be in bed by 8:30, no later than that. Jason gets to stay up until 9.
Whoa, wait
You
a
get to
second.
stay.
I don't
Till
want to talk about
10.
specific rules right
No, I
No,
mean,
I'm just saying that's it. That I'm talking about the changing. Doing it that they're all basic
They're,
rules, but
they'll
they're
be
gonna
negotiated
modified
to
for that
her
person.
age type thing.
Go to
But
bed at
we have
9:30 since
basic
Jason's going to bed at 9. I don't think so.
Like at bedtime. That's what I was trying to tell her is like they have
don't
rules for
wanna
them.
go by their
Jason
rules.
has rules. Brandy has rules.
Yeah,
now
I hear you
Jason
saying-
and Jamie can't, or Jamie and Riley can't just take off on their bikes and go wherever. Jason is old enough where he can watch the streets a little bit better. He can go to the housing development.
Yeah.
Those two have to ride in
I
pairs.
hear that. I mean, I think you're okay, and I think Brandy, it's okay. I understand you're saying I don't want to be treated like an 8-year-old or whatever-year-old.
But
How do you guys get together? I asked Clint how, and Lori what they are looking for in terms of you participating in a negotiation. What do you look from them as far as
Nothing.
participating in a negotiation?
Can't. Nothing. I don't look
So-
forward to them. They're never there. Every time I want to talk, they argue instead, or it breaks out to argument, or they say I started an argument.
I mean, there's
I
a
tried to talk to my
communication
mom and
problem
yells,
somewhere there.
whatever.
I mean, she called us up. She wants to come over this weekend. That's what it was on the phone. And Lori says, "Well, that's fine." Sunday
she did not-
though,
She
we're
did not
gonna
say
go.
that's fine, Clint. Don't lie.
Sunday, she said we're gonna go yard selling and stuff. Well, that's stupid.
I didn't
I
say
don't
well
want-
that. Word
I don't want to go. I'll stay at
Clint,
home.
You're
is
doing
what she
it
wanted
wrong.
to
You're
do.
wording it wrong. I did not say that's stupid.
Can I finish?
No.
She didn't let me get that far, Clint. She started screaming.
She wanted to
Why
talk to her
not?
mom. She talked to her mom, and then next thing
Yeah,
I know, she wanted to talk
point.
to me.
I did not
Okay.
say that.
When she talked to me, she said that her mom didn't want her over. I didn't believe that as
You're
for
right.
one thing.
I did not.
told her that we are
Oh,
going
I
to go
hate you. I
yard
should blow your
selling
head off. I
Sunday.
hate you so bad.
Randy,
make me so mad.
please quit.
No. You lie.
Anyhow, so we were talking
wanna live
about
with you.
her coming over, okay? It got to the point where she was putting a thing on us to say, we wanted her over,
I
and then
did not.
she wanted us to go ahead and go yard selling, but she didn't have to go. She wanted to stay at home by herself, which I said, well, that's fine if you can get it okayed with Scott and with
He's gonna say no.
whoever, because I
Because
feel
I'm only a 12-year-old or a 14-year-old and have to stay home and I can't have supervision. That's what he's gonna say. See,
under the
I can't even
conditions
trust
she's
him in my own
supposed
home.
she's supposed to be coming over for visits.
Yeah, but I haven't been.
Obviously that we told her what our plans are for Sunday. She can participate with us, or she can go home early, whichever way she wants to go.
I tried to compromise and they yell at me. I tried.
Compromise. You told us not to
I
even
said,
bring this
okay,
up
I
to
said-
Scott because Scott's going to say no anyway.
I did not say that.
Yes,
I said you
did.
don't have to tell him. Like, that's all I said.
So
and
we
I said
didn't
don't
have
bring
to
up
tell
Scott,
him
please.
that
I didn't beg you like you're
she's
gonna say I
stay
did.
at
How do you
home by
want to
herself.
be treated in that
He's an
situation
idiot.
that feels
Lies.
age appropriate to you, Brandy?
Stupid. I don't know why I haven't talked to him again. I can't believe it. Every time some argument goes on, he has to word it his way, and then you're an adult, he's an adult, so you're gonna listen to everything he says, and you're gonna think it's right. What I say is gonna be wrong because he says all I do is scream and yell when I go to counseling, and I haven't been trying. You even said I haven't been trying. Yes, I have. You guys haven't been around me. I haven't been around over there for you to know I haven't been trying or not. You guys all tell me you don't need it. You haven't been trying. You need to try out more harder. Look, I have been. He's saying I'm not trying. Yes, I have, and that makes me mad. That is what my most anger is right there. I have been trying, and you make me not want to try when you say that. And it's hard. And you say I don't try, and I do.
The situation.
Because
I mean,
all three told
maybe
me
you
that.
can help us out understand this. This is a communication problem, okay?
Yeah.
When we
Why
were
do
talking,
I can't talk? Why do you always have to talk? Can I say something?
when we were talking about it
I
on the
hate
phone,
him.
when we were talking about it on the phone, okay?
Shut
it
up.
come to the last Sunday, we picked Brandy up after she got out of juvie. We picked her up on our way home.
We're not supposed
we
to talk
yard
about the
sell.
past.
We yard sell almost every Sunday we go around. Okay, we're on our way home. We stopped at like 3 yard sales.
Secondhand
She
raunchy
started
stuff.
yelling, I don't want to do this. I don't
I
want to
did
do
not
this. I
yell.
said, Brandy, we're going to do this. We're on our way home.
I
We'll
did
just
not
stop on the way home.
yell.
By the time we got to Safeway, she wanted to go back to her grandparents. She said, I just want to go to my grandma's. So instead of fighting and arguing,
You
we
did
just
not.
went ahead and did it.
You did
I just
not.
took her there.
That's
And I
he,
just said,
he
Brit-
keeps on jabberjaws and on and
We
on.
just kept, you know, we went on to her grandma's.
Me and Mom are always right. We
And
never do no
we're-
wrong. Brandy does it all.
And you took her to grandma's?
So,
And that
yeah,
was
we
it?
took her to grandma's, dropped her off, and that was it. And we went on and did some other things that we wanted to do
Into McKinnon.
in the
or
McKinnon and
something.
stuff
Then when we got home, Brandy called and wanted us to come back over and get
and
her.
get her.
And I
Did
told
we
her
say
no.
that?
I don't care.
That sounds
Okay,
sounds like it's
so now
you know,
this
See, now
weekend
you're
she
gonna listen to
wanted.
what they say. You're never gonna listen to what they say. So
Okay,
you're gonna
this
say
is where the
everything. Shut up,
communication
Clint, I
is
wanna
right
talk.
now. No, Brandy, I'm
We've
talking. I'm
always
not
been
finished.
talking. Why can't I say
We-
anything?
We were.
I hate that
going-
they're never coming back again.
This is very.
We talked last night on the phone. She talked to her mom. The minute Lori said that Sunday we were gonna go yard selling, we said, fine, come over Friday. Spend Friday night, Saturday night, you know, if it's okay through you. And then Sunday, when we get ready to go yard selling, we can give her a ride home. No, I don't want to do that. I don't want to go back to that stupid place. I want to stay here by myself. Well, we're not going to allow that right now because in the past, every time we've left, the neighbor lady, Joyce, has even run Brandy's friends off because Joyce knows that we don't allow anybody there when we're not there. So what happened was when we said we were going to go yard selling, Brandy insisted on us letting her stay home alone. And I said, well, if you can get that okayed through whoever you have to get it okayed through, other than us, then that's fine with us. Otherwise, you'll have to either go with us or you'll have to go home. That's where she hung up the phone. And I, you know,
what was your question to me?
On the communications. I mean, how do you get her to understand that, you know, like we said, it goes back to Brandy, you cannot have, what we were trying to say was that, Brandy, we don't want you here alone. You know, you have to either go with us or you have to come back over to Grandma.
But as soon as he can't get the whole sentence out before she starts screaming and yelling that we don't trust her.
What's the
and
question that you were asking me now?
Is in the communications. I mean, Brandy told me on the phone about last night when she talked to us. She said that Sunday was all our fault, that we knew that she didn't like yard sales.
Clint, wait, let me interrupt you.
Okay, I mean,
I'm looking for an answer to this question. What is it that, are you asking me for a specific thing?
Yeah, I mean, was there a different way we could have handled that?
Oh,
Is there a different way we could have handled that Sunday, other than giving in to Brandy?
I
That
think
would've changed things.
this is the whole context of the job that we're working on, and that
I mean, she had to face reality. To me, I felt like
I don't see my role as making decisions about individual incidences that occur with this family, because we need to address a broad context.
Right. What I was trying to get at is was there a way that we could have handled that particular incident that would have made it any different for Brandy? That's what I was asking.
That's what.
I mean, other than just giving in, saying, "Okay, Brandy, we're going home."
See, I don't know.
'Cause, see,
we need
we-
Brandy
we
here to
talked
ask
about-
Brandy. We need to include Brandy in that whole question, if she's willing to answer.
Well, I got hung up on.
I was, and I, you know, I mean, I'm trying to have her answer that. The question, the ultimate question is, how does she want to be treated? How can she help you know better how to work with her so that there's communication? You have to hear that. She has to be included. I think.
I
Don't you think?
see where she's got peer pressure on her, because she's got a lot of friends that are her age, that's got parents that, I mean, they're 11 o'clock at the house, have been at our house and stuff. Brandy wants to be able to do what her friends do, and some of that stuff we just don't, you know, we can't go with it. There's no way. And if you try, then we end up in a verbal conflict. And if you try to explain to her about safety, I mean, there was a girl brought in, last weekend at Rainier that was raped, you know? And we try to talk safety with her, and she doesn't take it as we're talking safety. We're just calling her a slut. I mean,
Yeah. It's a tough situation. Let me go see if